They found her lying in silk and stillness, a bride untouched by mourning. The celebration was over. The truth was just beginning. They said she took her own life, but death rarely speaks the language of innocence. There was a secret between the vows, a hunger between father and son. And when love becomes a weapon, someone always bleeds. This is True Crime's Altar, where every sin is punished, every betrayal has a cost, and every soul must answer to the truth. Thank you to all our viewers worldwide. Kindly subscribe to our channel if you haven't. It encourages us to create more thrilling stories like this one. Detective Elijah Kidd parked his unmarked sedan in the circular drive of the Grand Bellevue Hotel just after 9 a.m. The valet stepped back, eyeing the badge hanging from Kitt's belt, and said nothing. From the outside, nothing about the towering white brick hotel suggested death waited upstairs, but Kidd had seen this too many times. Luxury rarely shielded the truth for long. Inside, the lobby manager met him with eyes already swollen from nerves. "They're waiting for you on the top floor," he murmured. "Presidential suite. It's bad." Kit rode the elevator in silence, watching the digital numbers rise as he slid on his gloves. When the doors opened, the scent hit him first. Faint perfume, roses, and something else beneath it. Stillness. The suite's lower level was undisturbed, champagne on ice, strawberries untouched, a wedding veil folded neatly on a velvet armchair, but the maid who discovered the scene hadn't screamed over flowers. Elijah moved quietly up the stairs where the forensic team waited. In the center of the room, on a bed scattered with rose petals, lay a young woman in a gown too pristine to be slept in. Her hands were folded gently across her stomach, and a faint smile rested on her lips. "She almost looks peaceful," someone whispered. But Detective Kidd had seen enough death to know peace had nothing to do with it. The forensic pathologist, Dr. Nia Langley, stood beside the bed, her lab coat crisp and her voice calm. "Bride," she said quietly. 25. Named Selena Drumfield. She and her husband checked in after midnight. The maid found her like this at 8:10 this morning. Kit nodded, scanning the room. "Overdose." "That's how it's staged," Langley replied. "Empty sleeping pill bottle. Half a glass of wine. No defensive wounds on the arms." But she reached forward and gently pulled back the high neckline of the dress. Faint purple bruises just under the jawline. Kit squinted. Hands. Most likely, right-handed attacker. She was smothered before anything else. The doctor's voice was steady, but her eyes flickered with unease. "We'll confirm during autopsy." Kit moved to the bedside table and picked up the bride's phone. No lock screen. The last message read, "Everything went perfectly. Can't wait to see you tomorrow." "Oh," he frowned. "Who's O?" Langley didn't respond. She was already preparing the nail scrapings and swabs. In the adjacent room, the groom sat on a velvet ottoman, still wearing the same white suit from last night. It was wrinkled now, with a faint dark stain on the right sleeve. His head was in his hands, trembling. "Mr. Drumfield?" Kit said gently. "I'm Detective Elijah Kidd, Riverstone PD. I need to ask you a few questions." The man looked up, eyes bloodshot, jaw slack, but not incoherent. "Selena," he said, voice cracking. She was fine. We were so happy. Tell me what happened after the reception." He ran his hand down his face. "We went up around midnight. There was champagne waiting and petals on the bed." She smiled. He swallowed. "I drank too much. I think the last thing I remember was the toast. Then nothing." "You don't remember going to sleep?" "I woke up on the carpet in the hallway. A security guard was shaking me. I thought I'd passed out." His voice cracked again. "Then they told me she was gone." Kit studied his face. The grief looked real, but so did the inconsistencies. Did your wife have any enemies? Work problems? Family tensions? The groom shook his head. No. She was everything. Smart, kind. People loved her. What about you, Mr. Drumfield? Anyone in your past who might want to hurt you by hurting her? His eyes flickered. I work in crypto security. Competitors, trolls, but no one personal. His tone shifted ever so slightly. It was suicide. We're looking into all possibilities, Kit replied. Downstairs, the hotel's digital guest log revealed the suite had only one entry after midnight. Selena's card scanned at 12:02 a.m. But security had seen someone else. A man passed out in the hallway around 2:15 a.m. The cameras confirmed it was Tarek Drumfield, the groom. He slumped against the wall, mumbling, eyes fluttering. But when Kit replayed the footage frame by frame, one thing stood out. The groom wasn't stumbling. He walked steadily until he saw the camera. Then, suddenly, he collapsed. That's not a drunk man, Kit muttered. That's a performance. Later that afternoon, Langley returned with a preliminary finding. Sleeping pills were in the stomach, but not in the blood. She was already dead when they were introduced. That, detective, is staging. Kit folded his arms. So, someone killed her, then tried to make it look like she did it herself. Langley nodded. There's something else. She fought back. We found skin fragments under her fingernails and a broken nail. She scratched someone. Kit stood at the window overlooking the courtyard. The wedding flowers were still being swept away. Somewhere below, someone thought they had gotten away with murder. He turned to Langley. Let's get DNA comparisons on the groom and find out who the hell O is. Later that evening, Elijah sat at his desk flipping through the bride's background file. Selena Drumfield, born and raised in Marlow Heights, Georgia. Public school valedictorian. Full ride to Howard for architecture. Graduated magna cum laude. 3 years ago, hired at Blackstone Urban Design, the city's largest real estate firm. Within 6 months, she was managing projects well above her pay grade. Too fast, Kit murmured. No one rises that fast without a wind at their back. He flipped to a photo of Selena standing beside a tall, gray-templed man at the ribbon cutting of a new eco-housing complex. His arm was around her waist, casual but far too familiar. The caption, Selena Drumfield with firm founder Royce Drumfield, 2023. Kit's eyes narrowed. Royce, father of the groom, founder of the company that had catapulted Selena to success. He picked up the phone. I need a court order, he said to Judge Bell's voicemail. Financial records for Selena Drumfield and Royce Drumfield. 3 years. And run their phone logs. If O is who I think he is, we're going to need to open this up wide. Because what began as a love story had now cracked open into something far darker. And when a father covets his son's bride, it is not only trust that dies, but the soul of a family. Detective Kit leaned over a conference table littered with documents, photos of building sites, press articles, and dozens of email printouts. Selena Drumfield's career was as polished as it was improbable. 3 years ago, she was a junior architect at Blackstone. Within a year, she was managing multi-million-dollar eco-developments, winning design awards, and being profiled in national media. And the company's founder, Royce Drumfield, was at her side in nearly every public event. This was no ordinary mentorship, Kit muttered, tapping his pen against a photo where Royce's hand rested too comfortably on Selena's lower back. The records came in that evening. Monthly wire transfers from Royce to Selena's private account, starting just weeks after she was hired. The amounts varied, but were consistently 10 times her base salary. Kit frowned. What exactly was she being compensated for? Then came the phone records. Hundreds of messages between them, sometimes after midnight, often on weekends. Labeled only O in her contact list. Now, the initial message on her phone made sense. Everything went perfectly. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Oh, Back at Blackstone's office tower, Kit entered the marble lobby and was met by a receptionist with tear-streaked cheeks. Word of Selina's death had already reached the staff. She led him upstairs to a glass-walled conference room where 5 employees waited. Most looked heartbroken. One looked inconvenienced. "I'm Layla Mims," the woman said, adjusting her thick-rimmed glasses. "Senior designer. I worked with Selina on 4 projects." "What was she like as a colleague?" Kit asked. "Professionally? Sharp. Charismatic. Privately?" Layla exhaled. "She wasn't promoted because of talent. Let's not pretend. Everyone here knew she had access. Special access." "You mean Royce?" Layla nodded. "He was grooming her from the start. Business trips that didn't need to happen. Quiet meetings behind closed doors. Arm around her waist at the holiday party? That wasn't father-in-law energy." "How long had this been going on?" "From the beginning. She started in April. By June, there were whispers." Layla's voice dropped. "Then she started dating Tariq Royce's son. You should have heard the break room. People called her the Drumfield Double." Kit jotted it down. Did Tariq know about the history with Royce? If he did, he never showed it. He was smitten, and Selina was persuasive. One minute, she was someone's intern. Next minute, she's engaged to the company heir. She tilted her head, and Royce never objected. Makes you wonder who was really being used. After speaking to the rest of the team, who confirmed the same, Kit followed the next breadcrumb. According to the hotel registry, Royce had repeatedly booked a top-floor suite at the Indigo West, under the alias R. Smith. The desk clerk, reluctant at first, opened up when Kit presented the warrant. "Yes," he said quietly. "Mr. Smith always came with a woman he introduced as his niece." He paused. "But she wasn't his niece." He flipped through the guest log. "Last visit? The night before the wedding." "How did they seem?" Kit asked. The manager didn't hesitate. "Romantic. Relaxed. Like a couple used to hiding." That night, the tech unit recovered deleted messages from Selina's phone. Most were from Royce. Late-night musings, romantic declarations, business whispers, and jealousy cloaked as concern. The final message, time-stamped 12:30 a.m., read, "Everything went perfectly. I can't wait to see you tomorrow." "Oh." Selina had responded, "Me too. We just have to be careful. T doesn't suspect a thing. Soon, we'll be free. I love you." "See?" Kit exhaled sharply. It was one thing to keep an affair going during the courtship, but on the wedding night, the implications were grotesque, and they gave Tariq every motive to kill. The next morning, Jerome Blake, the wedding photographer, appeared at the precinct. "Detective, I was editing the photos, and I noticed something off." He opened his laptop and swiped through the glossy shots of the ceremony. Then one frame in particular. "Here," he said. "At 11:04 p.m., Selina and Royce are off to the side." He's leaning in. His hands, yeah, right there. Kit studied the image. Royce's hand gripped Selina's hip. Their faces close. Too close. The next frame, Tariq returning from the bar, catching them in the moment. His face said everything: confusion, pain, a flicker of fury. And then they walked off into the garden. I didn't follow. But when they came back, they were smiling, kind of. It looked forced. And Royce, standing alone, watching them from a distance, looked like a man who just lost something. Kit pointed to a later image, Tariq holding Selina's phone. This might be the moment he saw the messages. He called up the tech division. Pull Tariq's phone usage from that night. The results arrived within an hour. At 12:25 a.m., Tariq accessed Selina's Messenger account. 5 minutes before Royce sent his final message. He'd seen everything. He knew, Kit murmured. Security footage from the hotel painted the rest. At midnight, The newlyweds entered the elevator smiling. But the moment the doors closed, Tariq's smile dropped. His body stiffened, cold. In the hallway camera, at 2:15 a.m., Tariq emerged, jacket rumpled, that same dark stain on his sleeve. He staggered slightly, leaned against the wall, and slid to the floor just as the camera panned toward him. A security guard found him 20 minutes later and escorted him to a spare room. Staging, Kit said aloud. He's setting up his alibi. Langley's final DNA report arrived just after sunset. Skin cells from under Selena's fingernails matched Tariq Drumfield. The fabric caught in her grip? Identical to his custom wedding suit. Her broken nail, her bruised wrists, her final moments, they all pointed to the man who had just made her his bride. That night, Kit gathered his team. He stood before a whiteboard crowded with faces, arrows, and evidence tags. Selena Drumfield was in a romantic relationship with Royce Drumfield for over 3 years. He mentored her, promoted her, and paid her off the books. When she began dating Tariq, Royce didn't object. He enabled it. We believe the intent was for Selena to marry his son as a cover and later divorce quietly. And then, one officer asked. And then they could be together, publicly, and with her career intact. But Tariq didn't know, the officer added. Not until the night of the wedding, Kit said. That night he saw them. Then he checked her messages, and he snapped. A man's heart can survive disappointment, but to learn he was used by the two people he trusted most, that doesn't just break a heart, it breaks a man's soul. Detective Kit stood at the front of the conference room, his hand resting on a stack of arrest documents. The motive is clear, he told his team. Tariq Drumfield discovered, on his wedding night, that his wife had been sleeping with his father. He saw the messages. The betrayal was fresh, emotional, and what followed was a crime of passion. Lieutenant Vera Osei tapped a pen on her notepad. Do we have enough for an arrest? We do, Kit replied. Timeline, motive, DNA under the nails, fabric match, security footage, and a staged scene. That evening, Tariq Drumfield was brought in for questioning. He arrived looking composed, pressed jacket, clean haircut, but his eyes twitched at the corners. A tall man with sharp cheekbones and a flat stare walked beside him, his attorney. Kit leaned forward across the desk. Mr. Drumfield, thank you for coming in. We know this has been a difficult time, but we need clarity on some details. Tariq nodded softly. I want to help. I loved Selena. I still can't believe she's gone. Kit placed a folder on the desk and opened it slowly. You still claim you don't remember anything after midnight? That's correct, Tariq replied. I drank too much. Everything after the suite is a blur. Interesting, Kit said, placing a toxicology report in front of him. Because your blood alcohol level showed the equivalent of maybe 2 glasses of champagne. The room fell silent. The lawyer shifted. Tariq's jaw tightened. Maybe the alcohol wore off by morning. Unlikely, Kit said evenly. Especially since the bartender remembers you barely touched your drink. And your security footage, well, you walked just fine until you saw the camera. The lawyer raised a hand. Detective, unless my client is being charged, I'm going to suggest we end this interview. Kit didn't blink. He turned a page in the folder. Fibers from your suit, Mr. Drumfield. Custom fabric. Unique weave. Matched to what we found under your wife's fingernails. As did traces of your skin. That suggests she scratched someone before she died, and that someone was you. Tariq's expression remained fixed, but his breath shallowed. We were close. It was our wedding night. That doesn't prove anything. No, Kit said, calmly. But the bruises on her neck? Those do. And the sleeping pills in her mouth? Administered after death. That's staging. He paused, watching Tariq closely. We know about the affair between Selena and your father. We know you saw the messages that night. We know what you felt. For the first time, Tariq's mask slipped. His eyes went hollow. His hands clenched. "You think I killed her?" he whispered. "Your father and your wife planned to use you, planned to build a future on your blind trust. You were just the middleman. And when you found out, enough," the lawyer snapped. "We're done here." Kit nodded. "All right. Mr. Drumfield, you are under arrest for the murder of Selena Drumfield." As the officers moved in, Tariq stood quickly. "This is insane. You have no idea what she did to me, what he did to me. I loved her." "And she lied," Kit said softly. "I know. She stood at that altar and smiled like she meant it. But it was all fake. Every kiss, every vow. She told me I wasn't man enough, told me I'd never be like Royce." His voice cracked, and he slumped into the chair. "I just wanted the truth." But she laughed. And then I lost it. Kit held his gaze. "You're confessing?" Tariq exhaled. "I didn't plan to. I swear I didn't plan to kill her." And yet, in the silence between love and rage, a single decision destroyed 2 lives and silenced a third forever. Later that night, Kit sat alone in the precinct office, replaying the interrogation in his mind. Kit met with Dr. Langley one last time in the forensic lab. She handed him the final lab report. "We confirmed it. The fabric under Selena's fingernails? Merino wool blended with silk, dyed with a specific mineral base used only in Royce Drumfield's custom suit. Any doubt left?" "None. And there's more." She flipped to the toxicology page. The sedative concentration in Selena's stomach was higher than what was in her bloodstream. She didn't ingest it while alive. Kit nodded. "It was placed there, after she was already gone, to make it look like a suicide." "Exactly." Back in the conference room, Kit laid everything out for the DA. A timeline of events, photos, the digital message logs, surveillance frames, autopsy evidence. At 11:20 p.m., Royce Drumfield used a service disguise to enter the suite before his son and Selena arrived. He waited. After they entered and went upstairs, Royce emerged from hiding and confronted her alone. An argument followed. We believe she confessed, told him she'd amended the prenup, that she planned to move forward with Tariq and leave Royce behind. At 1:45 a.m., Royce strangled Selena Drumfield. Deep finger impressions along her throat, bruises on the inside of her wrists. She fought back, scratched him, tore the fabric of his sleeve. He poured wine, planted sleeping pills, folded her hands, and left. At 2:15 a.m., Tariq exited the suite alone and collapsed in the hallway, pretending to be drunk, having no idea what had happened. He wanted a life with her. His father wanted possession, and she wanted to outgrow them both. In the end, ambition, lust, and silence bled into one deadly act, and none of them walked away whole. The arrest was official. Royce Drumfield was charged with first-degree murder, obstruction of justice, and conspiracy to defraud. His legal team said little during the arraignment. The man once known as Valmir's architectural king was now shackled in gray, looking every year of his age. Tariq attended the hearing but said nothing. His eyes were vacant, focused on something that no one else could see. Later that week, Kit visited him at home. Boxes sat by the door. The apartment smelled like dust and old roses. "I'm leaving town," Tariq said quietly. "There's nothing left here for me." "You still have your name," Kit replied. "You didn't kill her. You didn't lie. You were used. By both of them." He shook his head. "I don't know what hurts worse, the betrayal or the love that came before it. When betrayal comes dressed as affection, it doesn't knock. It slips into the bed beside you, whispers promises it never intends to keep, and steals your future while smiling." Before Kit left, he turned back. "You know, Tariq, love, real love, doesn't lie. And it doesn't use you to hurt others. It builds, it protects, it honors. When things feel twisted, when you're drowning in confusion or shame, seek help. Go to someone. a therapist, a pastor, a friend, even the police. But don't stay silent, and don't let pain teach you to destroy. That evening, as the sun set over the city skyline, Kit sat beside Dr. Langley on the station rooftop. They sipped from paper cups, the hum of traffic beneath them. 3 people, Langley said softly, all educated, respected, accomplished. But not one of them knew how to love without damage. Power and desire, Kit said. They intoxicate. And when we confuse possession with devotion, this is where it ends. Let this story be a warning, not just against lust or betrayal, but against silence. When you're trapped in a secret too heavy to carry, speak. When love feels more like control, leave. Violence is never justice, and revenge never brings peace. This was the story of Selena Drumfield, a gifted architect whose brilliance couldn't protect her from the ones who claimed to love her. Of Tariq Drumfield, a man who gave his heart and lost everything. And of Royce Drumfield, whose hands built an empire, then destroyed it all for a woman he could never keep. Their story is done, but the questions it leaves behind are yours to answer. What would you have done in Tariq's shoes? Was Royce driven by love or pride? And could Selena have escaped if she had chosen the truth? Tell us what you think in the comments below. Where are you watching from tonight? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to True Crimes Altar, where every sin is punished, every betrayal has a cost, and every soul must answer to the truth. We'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, and if you ever find yourself walking the line between love and destruction, choose light. Choose life.